So here's the thing. The modern narrative around constitutional monarchies usually relies on a very specific, carefully curated illusion. We are told these families are national anchors, serene symbols of continuity floating high above the grubby, chaotic fray of everyday human failure. And then, a reality check arrives via an Oslo district court that utterly shatters the glass coach. Let us examine what is actually happening here. Marius Borg Høiby, the 29-year-old eldest son of Norway's crown princess Mette-Marit, has just been sentenced to 4 years in prison. He was found guilty of 34 out of 40 charges, including 2 counts of rape, serious bodily harm, and repeated domestic abuse against an ex-girlfriend. This isn't just a tawdry tabloid scandal. It is a profound institutional earthquake for one of the most egalitarian nations on earth. The Prince of Excess and the Illusion of Autonomy. To understand the sheer weight of this verdict, one must look past the sensationalist headlines and dismantle the core defense narrative. Høiby occupies a peculiar, liminal space within the Norwegian state. Born before his mother's fairy tale 2001 marriage to Crown Prince Haakon, he holds no royal titles, performs no official duties, and is technically a private citizen. The palace has repeatedly used this exact framing to distance itself, with Crown Prince Haakon dryly noting that Høiby is autonomous and subject to the same laws as anyone else. But let's not be naive. You cannot separate the man from the palace when one of the rapes for which he was convicted occurred in the basement of Skogum, the official royal residence. Høiby's own testimony inadvertently delivered the linguistic kill shot to his defense. He lamented that he was mostly known as my mother's son, claiming an extreme need for recognition manifested in a toxic cocktail of sex, drugs, and alcohol. This wasn't just a private citizen losing his way. This was a man weaponizing the proximity of royal impunity to fuel a reign of terror against vulnerable women, confident that the shadow of the throne would shield him. The prosecution originally sought over 7 years. The defense, in an act of breathtaking optimism, argued for a mere 18 months, trying to scrub away the rape convictions by focusing entirely on the lesser offenses he admitted to, such as drug possession and traffic violations. The court, thankfully, saw through the linguistic gymnastics. A convergence of royal crises. The timing of this verdict could not be more catastrophic for the House of Glücksburg. The Norwegian royal family is currently navigating a perfect storm of existential vulnerability. The mother's illness, Crown Princess Mette-Marit, is suffering from chronic pulmonary fibrosis and is currently on the national waiting list for a lung transplant. The Epstein shadow. The trial has uncomfortably resurrected public memory of Mette-Marit's past association with the late, disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein, an association for which she has apologized, but which left a lingering stain of poor judgment. The democratic deficit. The Crown cannot easily absorb these consecutive blows. Recent Norstat polling reveals that support for the Norwegian monarchy has plummeted from a comfortable 70% down to 60%, while those favoring a republican system of governance have climbed sharply to 27%. When the bedrock of a monarchy's survival is public affection rather than divine right, a 10% drop in popularity is a structural hairline fracture. The true victory. If there is a redeeming narrative arc here, it belongs entirely to the Norwegian justice system. In less robust democracies, proximity to the crown acts as an invisible solvent, dissolving charges and silencing victims. The prosecutor, Sturla Henriksbu, was entirely correct to call the verdict a victory. It demonstrates that the rule of law in Norway remains blind to royal lineage. No titles, no palace basements, and no weeping appeals to maternal health could alter the mathematical certainty of justice. Høiby's lawyers have already announced their intention to appeal the rape and domestic abuse convictions. The saga is not entirely over, but the myth of royal exceptionalism in Oslo certainly is. The Crown has been reminded that when you invite the public to worship an illusion of moral superiority, the public will inevitably hold you to the standard of common decency.